by Vindu Dara Singh, whose father famously played the part of Hanuman in the Ramayana and Sagar's version of Ramayana, broadcast on TV in the 80s. Vindu Dara Singh himself is in Ayodhya, where he is playing the part of Hanuman in the Ram Leela. For Adipurush and the trailer that has now been released blows up, we're trying to understand what the issue really is. Is this going to be the latest in the series of boycott calls that Bollywood has been experiencing? Is there any kind of substance to the criticism, and what is all the fuss about? To speak on this, I'm joined now by Vindu Dara Singh, well-known actor. Thank you so much, Vinduji, for speaking with us here on Beyond the Headline. Now, among the many prominent voices that have spoken out on this, you have been quoted as well. But let me get it from the horse's mouth first. What has been your response to Adipurush, and do you have an issue with what you've seen so far in the trailer?
We have to understand that if they are actually making this on the Ramayana, because you see, I have complete trust in this director who's made a fantastic movie before called Tamanna Ji, and I'm sure none of these people would mess around with this epic. But if they're going to just portray that this is a person who is like Lord Ram, who is like Hanuman Ji, something like that, then it's a different story. Because you have to understand, they have to now cater to the kids and different level of younger generation. So we are happy whenever there's anything which portrays Ramji and his good deeds, and the good wins over evil. But you have to be a little careful not to hurt sentiments.
Now, that's the tricky part, isn't it, Vinduji? Hurting sentiments. Yeah. How do you know which sentiments you're going to hurt with what? It's become a very difficult proposition for any creative people right now. Yeah. And you, of course, have a very close connection with the Ramayana story. There's legacy over there.
Right.
From what you have seen, do you personally have any issue? Forget about what other people are saying or tweeting or commenting. Did you find any problem?
I think that maybe they could have improved on the makeup that you see on Hanuman Ji a little bit. But you'll have to understand how they have shown it exactly. If they've not mentioned he's Hanuman Ji and he's just some like a person who's Hanuman Ji's, he's got his strength, that kind of thing, then it's okay. But you're going to say he is Hanuman Ji, then you have to be a little careful, and the public should accept it. Because when this movie Brahmastra came, that time I really watched it the first day because I really wanted to know myself whether anything is wrong in it. And it was a beautiful movie which was portraying our religion, our country's greatness, everything right. So I supported it. Now this movie is coming out again, and I really hope that it shows everything in a good light. The problem is that people on Twitter have suddenly just oppose Bollywood, just keep on going after it. Prabhas is not a small name. He won't make a mistake. Om Raut is not a small name. T-Series, which is our main person who's also producing it, won't make a mistake. So I have little trust in them, but I really don't want them to mess it up, because the public, we also want India mein Ram Mandir is going to be ready. I'm in Ayodhya doing the Ram Leela right now. So nothing should mess up with it. And everything should just go forward, and we should never have any problems.
No, but it comes back to my question. The creative process is a very subjective one.
Absolutely.
When you're making a movie, a depiction, I suppose the director, the creative team has their vision. These are stories that are adaptations. These are stories that have been around for centuries, and they've been adapted in different ways. So who is to say what is right and what is wrong? There is no one model for it, is it?
Absolutely, but we have a censor board in the country, and that censor board, it is their prime responsibility. Once they pass this movie and say it's okay, then nobody should have a problem with it. If you don't want to go and watch it, don't watch it. But if the censor says Adipurush is good enough, then nobody should have a problem with it. There should be no protest, no nonsense and boycott and this and that. It's their responsibility. That's why we have a censor in the film industry. And those people have to watch Adipurush with wide open eyes.
Yeah. No, but right now there's a I would say a board which is more powerful than the censor board that is on social media, where opinions are formed depending on whatever is trending. So now some
Yeah.
people are not liking the makeup of Hanuman Ji. Some people are
Yeah.
saying, why is Raavana looking like Aurangzeb, etc. This is the
True.
opinion of those people. Do you think it should be enough to wreck the chances of the movie? And then the kind of commentary that is coming in, that why is Raavana looking like Aurangzeb? What are they trying to say? Do you think that this is a bit of a dangerous terrain?
Yeah, no, you have to understand that the makers, when they made this movie now, they've shown him sitting underwater. They've shown him doing things which have never happened. They've shown Seth flying on some dragon like Game of Thrones. So you have to understand this is not exactly the Ramayana. So whatever it is, we'll have to see properly and we'll have to be sure what it is once we watch it. So that's why I feel the censor board is the most important who will decide. For me, I would be very happy because the young generation, you have to understand our religion is centuries old. We are maybe the creators of on Mother Earth. Hinduism is from that time. So we've all dwelled into different layers. We become Sikhs, we become everything else from Hinduism. So we have to portray and let the children know what our great religion is all about. So to get to the kids, now when times have changed, you can't have the old Ramayana always playing and the kids feel, oh, what is this? What is he doing? So you have to evolve. But to evolve, you have to be very, very careful and sensitive.
So where is the space then for creative license? Because like you said, you have to evolve. You want to engage the newer generation. And is this about, I didn't like the fact that this actor is on a dragon of the VFX, or is there another thing underneath it? Let me ask you very, very clearly. Is there a problem that a Muslim actor is playing Raavana? Is that what the true issue is?
Yeah, well, that's not right, because Ravana is a prime, one of the greatest Brahmins. He keeps on saying, Aham Brahmastami. So you have to understand, when an actor just comes and plays a role, we must leave his caste and color aside. He's performing. He's performing and he's beyond any things. And in our country, we keep on getting that he's Hindu, he's Muslim, all these things. But that's not true. That's not good. He's also Sharmila Tagore's son. So we forget that point. But the point is when an actor is performing, please don't put his personal life into that character. He's performing what he is doing on his roles. And we should also understand that that's his profession. But if you keep on saying, oh, ye to ye, so I say, we'll not have Shahbaz Khan performing here. He's performing as the Ravan, and he's doing a great job. He's even seeing to it that he does not touch any non-veg, nothing at all while he's performing. So that's the thing. It should be from your heart, and you should do it well. I hope and pray that nothing goes wrong with Adipurush or any movies, but I know this protest and boycott is just, it's going on, it's getting worse and worse. We all need to take the country forward, not backwards.
Do you, as an artist and as a creative person, feel the pressure to sort of echo these sentiments? Because, I saw your quote, I'm listening to what you're saying now, and I'm still not very clear on the first question I asked you, कि आपको देखकर दिक्कत हुई कि नहीं?
My question is clear कि when they said, sir, ये हनुमान है, तो दिक्कत होगी.
नहीं, क्यों होगी? ये हमें समझाइए.
हाँ जी, if you're going to say that this is Hanuman Ji, who he's playing, and this is how he's looking, and this is how he's flying, so he's not going to be very close to my heart. So that's why if you want to make Hanuman Ji, maybe they should have just increased a layer here and, shown some extra skin and then a beard. That's also possible. Because when you see Hanumanji's pictures, you will see him with a beard. You will see him in many different portrayals.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't have a flat hair and a beard, because then it starts looking like a Muslim man, and we don't want that. We have to see to it that nobody's sentiments are hurt.
No, तो ये बात जो आपने कही, विंदु जी, ये बहुत जरूरी है. That he starts looking like a Muslim man. What is the definition of what a Muslim man looks like and a Hindu man looks like? Right now, beards are in great fashion. Everyone is roaming around with a beard. This is the part I want to get your view on as an artist. You're saying keep religion out of the creative process, but here you're bringing it in.
The religion that I'm bringing in, you have to understand, when you see a Muslim man, it's very, very clear. if he's going to shave off his mustache and keep a beard. But when you see these men with the beardo models and all that, you see them with both
Yeah.
a mustache and a beard. So
No, but style is style. I mean, there's so many people who keep only a beard. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert in men's facial hairstyle, but there are many kinds.
Never in my life have I seen a Hindu man shave off his mustache and keep a beard.
Okay, so your issue is that why have they shown the makeup of Hanuman, which some might think makes him look like a Muslim man? Don't you think that's a dangerous path to go down, Vinduji? Because you just said that there is no issue if a Muslim person plays the role of Raavana. Here, this is a depiction of Hanuman Ji. So your issue is with the makeup or the lack of makeup or the way that person is then looking?
Yeah, just the look. People are upset with the look. So it's just the look. Prabhas has done a great job. He's definitely not going to make a mistake, risk his career. He must have thought about it. They're all watching it. The movie is going to come in 2023. So we have to give them a margin that they have not made a mistake. But if they have, they still have time to rectify it. It's on graphics, change it so that nobody's hurt, nobody's disturbed. My point is this, when I see it for the first time, I feel happy. But then I feel that ये Ramayana दिखा रहे हैं, and they're showing, they're mixing up Game of Thrones and they're mixing up that other movie, Planet of the Apes, and many things.
So last question to you, Vinduji, because I know you have to go. Do you think that the space for creative license is now shrinking as an artist? Is it before anyone makes anything, they have to think कि social media पर इसका क्या reaction होगा? Boycott call तो नहीं आ जाएगी?
Absolutely. It is very true. हमने एक play भी बना दिया social media because we really feel that social media changed our lives. We have to first think before we speak. Any word that I would speak now, which would be a little wrong, twisted, could ruin my career. So this is how scary it's become. It should not be so, but it is.
Okay, that's quite a load to bear. Thank you so much, Vindu Dara Singh, for joining us and speaking so frankly. So clearly, Vindu Dara Singh feels worried that anything he can say on social media can ruin his career. Is that really how the creative process should be treated? To speak more on this, I'm joined now by Murtaza Ali Khan, film critic, and Kasturi Shankar, actor and activist. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us today on the show. Murtaza Ali, let me begin with your response on all that has happened. And here I'm saying very clearly, I'm first of all discounting what random people are saying on Twitter. I think we give too much credence to what random people say on Twitter or on social media or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I'm talking about this from the point of view. Why is this a news point today? Because the sitting home minister of a state has today said he wants to take legal action. And then people are saying that their sentiments are getting hurt. Is this the same plot that we're seeing again and again as every new movie releases?
See, I think we are going in circles, round and round and round, like the merry-go-round. So, I'm not getting used to it. In fact, when a reaction doesn't come, that is when I feel a little surprised. This was but expected. I was talking to a friend in New York and he was telling me that, Murtaza, do you think that it's going to create some big controversy? I was like, I'm not sure. And the first thing, I wake up in the morning and it was all over. People are trolling. The funny thing is that the same Saif Ali Khan, when he said that I'm going to, present a more empathetic perspective on the Raavana through Adipurush, the same people trolled him and said that how can you make Raavana look good? How can you be empathetic to the Raavana? And now the very same people, when you see Raavana in a certain light, now they're like, oh, he's a Brahman, oh, he's a revered figure in our mythology, in our scriptures. How can you make him look evil? So now my question is that you don't want him to be looking evil and you also don't want him to be empathized with. Then what is it that you want?
No. Here, that's what I'm saying. There's a number of underlying sort of threads on bigotry which are woven across this whole narrative. One of it is, why is Ravan looking like Aurangzeb? I mean, does anyone have like an actual Polaroid picture of how Aurangzeb looked or Ravan looked. These are all
I have a very
depictions.
simple question.
One,
I have a very simple question.
Yeah, yeah.
Even Vindu said something, Islamic beard and all of that.
Yeah.
I just want to ask them, when did, Muslims start wearing tripoon on their forehead? What about the tilak? What about the shivling?
No, but
it's
they're
all
actors.
in the mind.
They're actors. The religion is left on the set, right?
Absolutely.
They're actors. Kasturi Shankar is an
Absolutely.
actor. You are with us. Kasturi, great to have you on the show and in this conversation. I want to understand what the controversy is really about. I can understand the point of view that the VFX is not good, according to some people. They're saying it's tacky. Chalo, theek hai, I mean, that's a point of view. But it's going into inane detail. Why is there a dragon? Why is there leather clothes? Why is there not red kapda, but black kapda? Is it now trying to pick holes just for the sake of it?
I'm going to start by addressing the most serious threat of them all, or the most serious critique of them all, which is from a sitting Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh. So when Mr. Narottam Mishra says that he's got issues that he will even tackle legally, he does not want to see Hanuman in leather or having a beard. Those are issues that I don't understand where they're coming from. And with due respect to people who have a traditional view of our several, they say 33 crore gods that we have, leather and silk are animal products. We have had saints who have been depicted as sitting on tiger skin. Ramayana is full of hunting escapades. So I'm not even sure why an animal which got hunted will not be used for leather. It's a mystery to me. Hunting, leather, silk, these are taboo for maybe the priestly class, but certainly not for the Kshatriya class, certainly not for royalty. So this is an issue, and certainly not for monkey gods. So this is an issue. And to say that he shouldn't have a beard, I don't look at Hanuman, and Vinduji just said that it looks Muslim because he doesn't have a mush. So by the same token, Raavana has a very, very full face of facial hair. He has the mush.
No, my problem is what is someone looks Muslim. That's
today, I mean,
someone looks Muslim, someone looks Hindu. What character do you look like? This is a depiction. This is an artistic representation.
No. There is a point there because we are not the ones. See, in India, we have Muslims who look like Murtaza Bhai here. But where there is a prescription, let's take the Taliban, for instance. There is a prescription how you should look, what you should wear. You have to have your beard. It has to be at least so many inches long. So that's probably what is fueling people's idea.
But Kasturi ji, the standard example and definition of bigotry is to make assumptions about people on the base of their religion, race, caste, creed, or gender.
Absolutely, and I'm with you there. I'm just
saying, let's call a spade a spade. This is what's going on right now. The fact is that the person who plays Ravan happens to be a Muslim. That's why Vindu ji said that his mother is Sharmila. तो मम्मी शर्मिला है, बेटा तैमूर, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? He is the actor who's been hired.
नहीं वो बात नहीं मैं ये नहीं मानती, क्योंकि जब सेक्रेट गेम्स में उन्होंने एक सीख को प्ले किया और इतने सारे फिल्मों में सैफ ने हिंदू कैरेक्टर्स प्ले किया है, इसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम. I don't think it's coming from there. I think Saif is well entrenched as an actor. I mean, there are radicals who will always have a problem with anyone with a Muslim name, but I think for the most part, I think it comes from Vinduji, for instance, who is supporting Saif, is still having a problem with Hanuman's looks, but it's not even a beard. To me, it looked like monkey fuzz. It looked like a regular monkey with, facial fuzz. And there are depictions of Hanuman Ji with something that looks like a beard. There are depictions that we regularly pray to. I have one in my puja room. I'm not able to bring it and show you. So I feel it's just everybody has a...
I think the question here then is, should there be cinematic liberties with well-loved characters? And the characters in this epic story is something I think every Indian, no matter what their religion is, by the way, is very, very familiar with. I mean, the ones from the 80s, of course, had the Ramanan Sagar version, but over time as well, this is an epic Indian story. Of course, it has great religious value for Hindus, but it's an epic Indian story, so everyone knows these characters very well. Do you think the risk was to take creative liberties with these characters that people are used to seeing in a certain way? Murtaza.
See, of course, the worst part is that people are now thinking that Ramanan Sagar version of the Ramayana is the touchstone. It is the ultimate version of Ramayana, when it is not. There is the Kamban version of the Ramayana. There is Ramcharitramanas by Tulsidas ji. There is the original Ramayana by Valmiki. There is the Mithila version of the Ramayana. There is the Uttara Puran version of the Ramayana. There is the Jaina version of the Ramayana in which Ravan is supposed to be Sita Mata's father. There is also a version of the Ramayana in Himachal Pradesh, Lahore and Spiti, where again, Ravan is the father of Mata Sita. So people are not understanding that it's a very, very vast subject, the whole case of Ramayana. Let's not reduce it to the Ramanan Sagar version of the Ramayana, which we all saw in the 80s. And let me tell you one very important thing. A lot of the kids growing up today, they don't want to watch the old epics. They want to watch the GOTs of the world. They'll go and buy tickets for the Avengers films. They will go and watch Harry Potter. They'll watch, all the latest CGI, VFX carnival that Hollywood produces. And yet, when one of our filmmakers wants to use the technology that is at the disposal to try and pep it up, to try and make it more, what I should say, modern and contemporary, for our own generation, for the upcoming generation who hasn't grown up watching what we have grown up watching, these people are objecting to that. They want our kids to live in the 80s.
I think the most bizarre part of all of this is, I don't know, maybe it's going to be a terrible movie. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a great movie. Can we pass judgment with a 1 minute 46-second trailer? Have we become so thin-skinned or so quick to look for the next part of outrage? Kasturiji, on this, as a performer, as an artist, and I asked this to Vindu Dara Singh, and despite all of his views, he said there should not be any Bollywood boycott, and he said, I am afraid to speak. If I open my mouth, I don't know what will happen on social media. So, if everyone is walking around afraid to say what they think, they don't know if they're going to become the next meme, the next Twitter trend, the next source of outrage, then where will the creative license be? Forget about the censor board. You'll have your own internal censor boards before you make anything, isn't it?
I think I'm going to venture an unpopular opinion here. But before I come to that, I'll say this. You asked if, can we judge a movie by less than 2 minutes of its footage? And I'm going to say, is that 2 minutes of the footage not part of the movie? Is it from a different movie? It belongs to the movie, no? So, yeah, sure. We can judge a movie.
There's every possibility that it might even not make it to the final cut.
That is true.
Possibility.
That is true. That is true. But if if they are not showcasing the highlights of the movie in a teaser,
they are. They're showing you the best. I mean, you cannot judge whether it will be a good movie or a bad movie. You know the look of the movie. Maybe the story for the rest of it will be great. Maybe it will be terrible. Maybe the direction will be sloppy. Maybe the plot will have holes in it. Maybe the screenplay will drag.
An effort to reinvent the Ramayana in the Game of Thrones age, and it looks a lot like that too. I wish it looked as good as that, but anywho. But the other part that you asked, and I do want to, I don't know, I'm afraid to say it too, but I'll say it. Is creative license? Is creative license something that is going to be stifled by all this outrage every time something different hits the public sensibilities? I have just one question. See, in India, and this was a question posed by another speaker in a different debate, in India, we have these creative licenses only for Hindu works of religion. You cannot make a movie about a minority religion. You cannot even depict anything that belongs to Islam. You cannot depict anything because that is haram. You cannot make a movie which, like in the West, there is a Jesus Christ Superstar. You cannot stage Jesus Christ Superstar, which is an existing opera in India. You cannot. So I think you have to, at some point, recognize that you can have creative licenses, but you can't be stupid.
Okay. No, I think the specific reasons you've given and the specific examples you've given, Murtaza, you may want to come in on this. As far as I understand, in the Islamic religion, they have zero depictions of any religious characters. These characters
Islam has no Natya Shastra. You know, there's a clear no.
So this is a rich heritage.
It's forbidden.
No, I don't.
There's no change. You cannot reinvent Islam. You can only reinvent Hinduism in India. People are going to.
But that is also the diversity and beauty of the religion, isn't it, Kasturi ji? Is the diversity and beauty. Like I said that the characters in the epic, the characters in the epic Ramayana are loved by all Indians. They are part of our heritage, no matter what religion they follow.
I'm just saying this is a valid question that a lot of people are going to be asking. Why is that all the reinventions and all the creative licenses are restricted to a majority religion? What about the others? Why are we not? Is that creative license? Would you support creative license in Islam?
But those characters may be not as popular. We know that this is a very popular story. Yes.
Tell me
yes, Murtaza. I don't know how every conversation becomes Hindu-Muslim, but yes, Murtaza.
Just one thing I wanted to say here, and I think you have touched upon a very valid point. See how many times a Shah Rukh Khan or a Salman Khan, or any of our superstars, they are playing Muslim characters. They are playing Hindu characters all the time, the Hindu ones as well as the Muslim ones. They're not even playing Christian characters. They're always playing Hindu characters because they want to woo the majority. 80% of the audiences are from the Hindu religion. That's why 99% of the films that get made in India are about Hinduism, or something to do with the Hindu protagonist. And, I don't want to go there. Even if you look at the casteism, even that is a shocking thing. You would very rarely see the protagonist coming from the backward caste. That is another area you need to introspect. Is it just the minorities that don't get the representation in cinema, or is it even the backward caste? So that's a very sensitive subject.
Now, Murtaza, you're going to the other extreme where you are now asking for representation of different classes in mainstream. I understand what you mean. Mainstream should be representative. But what about the joy of making something creatively just for itself? What about the rich legacy?
We used to be quite cool.
What about the rich legacy of Bollywood that we, have been so proud of? First of all, to get a hit movie is a problem for these guys. Then if they do make something decent, then they have to first figure out whether they're going to be boycotted or not. Are they soft targets? Murtaza Ali saying they're soft targets. Are they soft targets, Kasturi?
Who is this? I wasn't able to hear that.
He's saying Bollywood has become soft targets.
I think it's worse than that. Bollywood is always been, but any movie industry, any movie actor, I'm a target. Everybody here on this show is a target because we are in the public eye. But I think it's more than that. Now, Bollywood is losing steam. It's losing. It's being compared to regional cinema, which is being far superior at this point of time. I think that is something that is of concern. This again, Adipurush actually stars Prabhas, who comes from Bahubali. It's produced by Bhushan Kumar. It's directed by Om Raut. None of them have a history of any kind of propaganda or woke liberalism.
Absolutely.
So I don't think they did this movie. They started out having Raavana on a dragon out of malice. I think they just had a Hollywood hangover or a video game hangover, and they wanted to reinvent it.
No, but think about it. If you want to reinvent a classic, you will have to give it maybe some modern touches. The point Murtaza was making, that the kids right now, they want to watch Avengers, and you can see some glimpses of that in that
Avengers
trailer.
देखने के लिए मैं Avengers ही देख लूँगी. Ramayana.
No, but look at the trend. But look at the trend. Even in Brahmastra, you are basically creating your version of Indian superheroes.
I agree with that, and it's why there is an angry Hanuman. There is the Meluha. Nagas. So we have in literature, in graphic art, we have been inventing Hindu gods as superheroes. I agree with that. There are video games in which Karna, Arjuna, Krishna all are playing characters in foreign-made, Western-made video games. I agree with all that. But when questions are raised, I think it's important for people to understand the sensibilities. I'm not supporting a guy who says you have to ban something because the gods are wearing leather, which is absurd. But if questions are raised and sentiments are outrage, and we live in the time of outrage, I think people need to be a little more cautious. Only because I'm comparing it again, only because you wouldn't do this with a Christian mythology. You wouldn't do a Christian fantasy. You would do that if you're in
But
America.
Kasturi, it's done. It's done all over the world.
Not in India.
How many times
That's
the
what
Last
I'm
Supper
saying.
has
Sir,
been
please
ridiculed and
understand.
mocked?
Please understand.
All right.
I brought Jesus Christ Superstar. You can do that, except for Islam. Every other religion
That's
has
a religious
fantasies,
constraint.
desires.
You're right,
We
but
have
that's
all
a
of
religious
those.
constraint that you know of very
We
well.
have to
Anyway, I'm going to
have
wrap
some
it here.
questions.
I'm going to wrap it here. You have to decide whether you finally want to pay the money, go to a theatre and watch a movie or not watch a movie. But to vilify it the moment one trailer comes out is perhaps not the right precedent to set. Especially, I don't understand why everything has to go into this religious sort of connotation. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us today. Now, the election